Hello, everybody. If you're an author, then you already know that there's a lot that goes into a writing career besides just writing. There's book signing, sales tracking, page formatting, and you even gotta do math. Now, some people might tell you, who cares? Just focus on the writing and let someone else worry about all that other stuff. But these people are idiots. Or they just hate you. Fortunately, I'm more than happy to hit you with the hard facts. I'm here to tell you the 6 skills you probably didn't know you'd need as a professional writer. Now, I could talk endlessly about each of these points, but, well, I have a life. So I'm gonna do you a solid and direct you to the absolute best resources I found for each of these topics, and those are classes on Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community for creators with over 15,000 classes in writing, marketing, technology, and tons of other topics. Users can take classes or teach classes themselves. This video is brought to you by Skillshare, and if you've been following me for a while, you already know that I am obsessed with their platform. It's really valuable to writers because not only can you find classes about creative writing, you can also find classes that touch on every other skill this profession requires. And wouldn't you know it, that's what we're talking about today. Let's break down the different skills you'll want to master in order to better your odds of success. Number 1. Marketing. Even after beating this topic to death, writers still ask me on a near daily basis, "But Jenna, do I really have to market my book?" Yes, you do. It doesn't matter how amazing your book is. No one's gonna buy it if they don't know it exists. There are millions of books online. What are the odds that people are just gonna stumble across yours and then give you their money? And I know marketing sounds intimidating, but there are plenty of tactics that writers use every day that don't involve talking to people or even leaving your house. Now, I'm not gonna get into specifics because I already have an entire vlog devoted to marketing, and it's filled with tips and amazing Skillshare classes. I got a link to that vlog listed below. Check it out at the end of this video, and you're welcome. Number 2, business. You guys were probably hoping I wouldn't mention this one. Sucks to be you. Your writing is an art, a form of creative expression, but it's also a product for consumption. If you're trying to make a career out of selling novels or pretty much anything, you need to have a firm understanding of how the industry works. Who is your target demographic? What does the supply and demand look like for your concept? If you're self-publishing, do you know how to budget for your editor and your cover artist? How many copies will you need to sell in order to cover those expenses? What happens if you expand into merchandise? Are you going to reinvest your profits into this project? What's the opportunity cost? Do you even know what an opportunity cost is? Now, a lot of writers think they can skip the business education because they're going the traditional publishing route. And these writers are stupid. If someone else is handling your business, all the more reason to educate yourself. That way you have a full understanding of the decisions being made for your platform, your book, and your career. We have all heard stories about writers being screwed by publishing scams, and these sort of incidents can be avoided with some basic business education. Now, Skillshare has an entire section devoted to business, but one class in particular that's worth checking out is Keep Track of Revenue and Expenses with Spreadsheets by Lisa Richchak. I know it sounds boring, but this is vital stuff that authors need to know how to do. And the instructor is a self-published author who shows exactly how she tracks her own writing income. Number 3, social media. Every once in a while, I'll meet an aspiring writer who says, "What's the deal with Facebook and the Twitter? Don't you just miss the days when writers didn't have to deal with all that stuff?" No, I don't. You do realize that back in the good old days, most writers didn't get paid for their work. They just starved. Social media is one of the biggest changes that allows creatives to prosper off of their talents. An online presence is an asset to a writer. It allows us to connect with thousands of potential readers. And it's free. So if you're trying to turn your writing into a career or even a side income, it's in your best interest to not only have a social media presence, but learn how to maximize your influence. It's not enough to have a Twitter account. You need to learn how to use the platform to accumulate and engage an audience. It's not enough that you have Instagram. You need to learn how to post beautiful pictures and which hashtags increase your reach. Now, there are a ton of great social media classes on Skillshare, but if you're kind of new to the whole thing, I recommend Introduction to Social Media Strategy by Brian Peters. It breaks down how to find your voice, which sort of platforms to choose, all that good stuff. Number 4, graphic design. I'll be the first to tell you that when it comes to your novel, you should always hire a professional. The cover art, the format, the edit, that sort of stuff needs to be handled by an expert. But there are a few situations outside of the novel itself when hiring a professional isn't conducive or convenient, and this is especially relevant in the marketing phase. A lot of authors rely on social media teasers to generate interest in their work, and you can totally hire a designer to create these images, but teasers are really easy to make with stock photos and some basic knowledge of Photoshop or even GIMP. And I have lost track of the number of times that something's come up that requires a graphic. Giveaways, release events, ARC review signups, blog interviews. All of these things require visuals. You can't always hire a marketing team to whip up an image for you at the last second, so it really helps to know how to do it yourself. If you're completely new to graphic design and have no idea what you're doing, I recommend the Skillshare class Basics of Photoshop Fundamentals for Beginners by Meg Lewis. Obviously, there are other platforms that allow for graphic design, but Photoshop is my personal go-to. On a similar note, we have number 5, web design. We writers don't always make a ton of money, so it's smart to allocate your funds where they're most needed. And quite often, hiring a professional web designer is an unnecessary expense. Not only that, but there are tons of platforms available that allow you to easily design a website yourself, which saves you money and gives you greater freedom and control. If you're launching a new novel, it's a hell of a lot more convenient to be able to update your website yourself versus having to call your designer and wait for an appointment. Now, obviously, your website has to look professional or else no one's gonna take you seriously, but it's not hard to create a polished website with some basic design knowledge. Even if you're not tech savvy, website templates are super easy to use. That's kind of the point. Now, if you check out my marketing blog, I recommended a few Skillshare classes that I still think are really great. But I also wanted to mention a class I recently discovered called Mastering WordPress, Build the Ultimate Professional Website by Malik Motan. WordPress is a really popular platform among writers, and this class covers everything, including signing up for the domain name and installation. And lastly, we have number 6, communication. I know most of you just noped on out of here, but hear me out. Whether you like it or not, all careers, including writing, involves some element of communication. We can hide behind our computer screens as much as we want, but we're eventually going to have to talk to readers, or bloggers, or agents, and that will require some finesse. If you can't confidently speak about your novel, people are gonna lose interest real quick. If you're not confident in yourself or your story, why should they be? Additionally, if you reach a certain level in your writing career, that may warrant book signings or writing events, or worse, public speaking. Writers aren't exactly known as the most social or eloquent type, which is all the more reason to practice your communication skills, because you're gonna need them. Whether you're just getting your name out there or planning for a speaking event, I recommend the Skillshare class Sound More Confident with Your Voice by Tracy Goodwin. Not only does this class help you with your communication skills, it also breaks down the psychology of why you speak the way you do, which is really insightful and kind of cathartic. So that's all I got for you today. Becoming a career writer takes a lot more work than just whipping out a brilliant story. You gotta wear a bunch of different hats and master a bunch of different skills. And if you wanna broaden your skill set, be sure to check out Skillshare because their classes are a lifesaver. Premium membership begins at around $10 a month, but Skillshare is offering you 2 months of Skillshare Premium for $0. That's over 15,000 classes in creative writing, business, graphic design, and tons of other vital topics for free. I've got a link to your 2-month free trial listed in the description below. Skillshare will ask for credit card information, but you can cancel at any time. With that said, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I post new videos on Wednesdays. And if you have any questions, be sure to tweet me at Jenna Moreci. Bye!